Hot tea today. Hello, hello. I'm sipping some very hot tea today. I'm drinking some Refresh. This is the new tea from Clarity with Kaluwa, and it's actually the tea of the month as well. It's a ginger, mint, lemon combination that's just so refreshing and actually it's naturally detoxing and debloating. And so, you know, kind of a nice time before we get into the swimming pool. So get into those suits, right? So, as well as clearing, and that's what I'm going to talk about a little today. Last week I talked about the story of my own personal story with shared genetic trauma. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, go back and watch it now. It's really an interesting one, and like I said, I still get chills every time I think about it. Um, but from that story, I actually got a message from someone who said, you know, so yeah, if it's possible to share, past traumas and blocked emotions through your DNA, how do you clear them? And I thought that was a really great question. And I thought that was something worth talking about this week. But before I do, I actually wanted to go back and look at how does it present? How does it show up in your life when you have these, blocked emotions and traumas, whether it be from your experiences or from, an ancestor's experiences that got passed through the DNA. Um, and a lot of times what that can look like is health issues, right? Whether it be physical or emotional health issues. And yes, we all know, like, dis-ease, we all hear that saying. But you might not realize, there's different areas of your body, different organs of your body that are associated with different emotions. So, sometimes when you see these really crazy illnesses, the person who dies of lung cancer who's never smoked a day in their life, well, the lungs are associated with grief. So perhaps they lost someone very dear to them, tragically, or, there was unresolved grief that they never processed, or again, it could have been passed down. So, things like that. Trauma will sit in your body in different places and will cause issues. And many times it'll go to that place that's normally associated with that emotion, or it will just go to a weak spot in your body. So, if you have injuries that are already there, sometimes it'll just show up there and kind of sit. Um, Obviously, it's going to affect your emotional health. So, the way you perceive the world. Maybe you're dealing with more anxiety or depression, or just different things that are affecting your emotional well-being. And another way you'll see it is in behavior. So if you've ever had an overreaction, that can show up. You know, think of a time when you like kind of overreacted to something, and after the fact you're like, what was my problem? I know I've done it. I had this overreaction to something, and I stepped back afterwards. I went back. I said, I'm sorry. That I realize now that triggered a conversation I had in high school that really pissed me off, and apparently I held on to that for a while. And those things happen, and truly, I think that might be a lot of the reason that people get so angry driving. And we've got some trapped anger in the body, and it's a really anonymous way to in place to get pissed off, and we take things personally, and now we're flipping everybody the bird out in the road. So you know um this can all show up. This is all the different ways that this can show up. So what do you do about it, right? So clearing it. And truly I believe that with anything, a blend is always the best approach, because I find that things, different modalities, different techniques, they really seem to complement each other. A lot of times, if you're being really rigid and things have to be black and white, like I only do it this way, it might not be hitting everything. Everybody is different and everybody's got different things going on. So maybe this one thing that you're doing is not triggering the one thing you need. It might work for someone else, but maybe if you combine that with something else, it's going to trigger the release that you need. So, these are three of my favorites, and I would love to hear any that you might have for yourself. So if you want to, jump in with the comments and let me know. And, hey, if you are showing up right now, I'm so sorry. This thing gives me very intermittent information. So if you say hello, hopefully I'll see it and I will say hello back to you. But one of my absolute favorites is EFT, and I call myself a Brad Yates groupie because he has a million videos on YouTube for different things with EFT, and they're all fantastic. And I swear there's one for every occasion. And what I like about EFT is I feel like it's a very passive way to really release things, to undo some of the beliefs that you might have, some of the traumas, some of the emotions, because you don't even have to believe it. Like, you just sit there, follow along, do what he does, and it actually works. Like, it actually undoes the steps. You're just passive. You don't have to, oh, I know with all my might that this works. And then even you have those little doubts that sabotage. Those doubts don't matter when you do EFT. So that's one of the things I really like about that. Um, the other thing that I really, really love, because the emotions get trapped in your body, is moving your body. And that's why I created an entire movement program around that, targeting the different areas of your body and moving them, and, using imagery and using different techniques, and then following it up with journaling to get all of those emotions and all of the stuff that's not serving you outside of your body. Get it out where you don't need it in your body. Let's get it out, get it released. So that's one of my absolute favorites. If you want to know more about that, I'd be happy to tell you about that. I promise I'll you know hold myself down to a few minutes. I won't go on all day. And then the other one that I really like is emotion clearing. As far as using a magnet. So we are magnetic beings, and you can actually use a magnet to clear things from your body. And so, you use muscle testing to identify what emotions are trapped in your body, and then you use a magnet to clear them. So it's actually really fascinating and really interesting, and a great way to get to some inherited emotions that you might be carrying around. So those are a few of my favorite. Like I said, if you have any others that you would love to share, I'd love to hear them. If you want to know more about any, I would love to share that with you as well. It's just something that is really simple, but then has profound effect. All of the stuff that we're carrying around, like I said, whether it be, passed down to us that we had no say over, or just our experiences in our life, and maybe we just didn't give them their 15 minutes of fame and then they got trapped in our body. They're just eating away at us. They're not doing anything for us. So if we can get that out, we can just release that all and drop those shoulders and just start living joyfully, and that life that we really, really want. So I am wishing you the best. I hope you have an amazing week, and have a great one. Bye.